The next EcomCrew webinar is quickly approaching on May 16th, 2018 at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific. This is an updated time. We were getting a bunch of complaints from people that 7 p.m. Eastern Time was just not a good time right in the middle of dinner or driving home. So we changed the time to 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Go to ecomcrew.com/webinar to sign up for free today. This month, we're going to be going over our 2018 Amazon launch strategy, talking about a bunch of stuff that we've never talked about before, and we really hope to see you there on the webinar. For those of you who can't attend, if you sign up, you will get access to the replay for free. So again, go to ecomcrew.com/webinar to sign up today. And now on with the show. This is Mike, and welcome to episode number 143 of the EcomCrew podcast. You can go to ecomcrew.com/143 to get to the show notes for this episode. And today we're back with another episode in our series on traction. The previous episodes will be in the show notes. Episodes 1 and 2 went through our 10-year goals and our core values and focus and all that different stuff. And for this one, we're going to be going through our marketing strategy and digging into what I think is the more fun part of this stuff is getting into our 3-year plan. In the next episodes, we'll get even more granular with a 1-year plan and quarterly rocks. But today we're going to be getting into the marketing strategy and the 3-year plan, which is pretty visionary, I think, at this point. And it's really cool to see like what we can do in the next 3 years. And it's also cool now having our entire team knowing what our plan is for the next 3 years, which I think is more important than anything. Something, again, that we hadn't ever done before in the past. And I think that's going to make a big difference in our company moving forward. And I'm really excited to see what the next few years have to bring. So again, you can go to ecomcrew.com/143 to get to the show notes for this episode. And right after this break, we'll dig into part 3.
Welcome to the EcomCrew podcast, hosted by Mike Jackness and Dave Bryant, who together run e-commerce businesses that generate 8 figures annually. Mike and Dave take pride in running a podcast that isn't just fluff, talking about specific products, problems, and real-world solutions. In the words of one of our favorite reviews, this podcast is like a playbook for e-commerce. You can take any episode and spend the next month trying to implement it. So without further ado, here's the EcomCrew.
Hey guys, all right, so we are continuing through the traction process that we went through ourselves and just kind of talking to you guys about what we did along the way here. So we went through our core values, our core focus, and then our marketing strategy. Then our 10-year goal. And right now we're going to go over our marketing strategy. So again, going through this in the order that the book talks about it, setting core values first, and then talking about your core focus, and then setting your 10-year goal. The next thing they have you do is set your marketing strategy. What is your strategy for marketing in your company, and making sure that everyone within that company knows what that is. So again, just want to make one other comment here as a side comment. Really important as you're going through this, you have to prioritize this over everything else. It's very easy to be like, oh, we got something else more important to do today, and do that over and over again. And next thing you know, 3 months from now, you're still stuck in the mud with this stuff. It did take us almost 3 full months to get through all these different parts of traction, even with meeting a couple or 3 times a week, sometimes even 4 times a week for a couple of hours at a time. We took it very seriously. I mentioned this in the previous episode, and it's so important that I think I just wanted to mention it again real quickly. So let's get into the marketing strategy part. Now, some of this I'm going to leave out because it's going to just get too verbose, because we have 4 different brands, really 5 different brands, depending on how you look at it. And I don't want to necessarily talk about what our geographic and demographic and psychographic stuff that we came up with for each brand was. Plus, that's a little bit too secret saucy for me. I'd rather prefer to keep a little bit of that stuff close to the vest. But nonetheless, I do want to mention that we did that. You know, we put that down on paper here as a part of this. We talked about who our basically our ideal customer is, or who our customer avatar, what that looks like for each of our brands: Ice Wraps, Color It, Wild Baby, and the Tactical Sphere, which is going to be Survival Food, Tactical.com, and then our new e-commerce brand that we're working on. So we did all that, and then also added in the geographic data, like what countries do we see or regions in the country being our target audience, and what's our demographic? Is it men aged 25 to 60, or is it women that are 45 plus, or whatever it might be? And then the psychographic what do they typically look like? Are they active, outdoorsy, concerned about prepping or survivalism, geared towards customers that want the best or that they want the cheapest? What is it that they're looking for? And we did that for each brand. So again, skipping past all that information, let's get into some of the other things that I'm more comfortable talking about, which is, first of all, what are your three uniques? So what makes Terran LLC different from all the other people out there listening to this podcast right now, and other people out in e-commerce land trying to sell things online to people? First and foremost, I think that we only want to develop the highest quality products. Not to knock on anybody else, because I don't think that is the case here, what we're trying to do, what I'm trying to say. And if you are fine selling lower quality products, that's fine. I mean, there's definitely a marketplace for that. I would say 2 billion people that I can think of right off the top of my head would be people in China and people in India typically look for these types of products. They're just concerned about price. They don't necessarily care about the quality being super high. But for me, for what we're looking to do, we want super high quality products. This is one of our uniques. And for the people that care about that, the people that are buying that stuff, I think that that's super important. And I think that by building the highest quality products, we're doing things and innovating in ways and doing different stuff to the products that the vast majority of other people out there aren't doing. And most people, I think, that are out there are thinking about the short term. Like, what can I find as quickly as possible, get it up online as quickly as possible, buy it for as little as possible, and sell it for as most as possible. And that's about as far as the average person, I think, is thinking in e-commerce. And that's certainly, I don't mean that to belittle anybody. I mean, that's just the way that it kind of is. And you don't need to take my word for me. Just look at the average product up on a site like Amazon. I mean, there's a ton of copycat and just Me Too type products that aren't very innovative or different or better or high quality, etc. That's one of our uniques. Our second unique is, short of customers taking advantage, we never say no to a customer. So for us, customer service is an incredibly important aspect of what we do. This goes back to one of our core values of we treat others the way that we want to be treated. I don't like it when I buy something from a company and feel like I got bad service or a bad product or I had a problem and they wouldn't take care of me. That does not feel good. I do not want to make someone else feel that way. This is an important aspect for me. So we don't want people taking advantage of us either. We don't want people scamming us. We've had a couple things where we've had to put the brakes on and stop people from doing this. But that's definitely the rare exception and not the norm. Unless someone is legitimately just taking advantage time after time after time, we want to make sure we're trying to provide them the best possible customer service. I think that that's a unique for us over a lot of other companies out there. Again, the average company isn't even thinking about customer service as anything else but an annoyance. And then our third unique is building a community of fans. Like a lot of other companies out there, again, they're just looking to sell products. They don't necessarily want to build a community of fans. And that community comes in really handy when you're launching new products. I was actually joking in our company meeting that we could manufacture a bag of poop with the color brand name on it and sell it. And the first time we sold it, I think that we would sell a ton of it. I think that we would lose all of our credibility really quickly by doing that. But the point is that we've built a lot of really good goodwill with our customer base because we've developed a series of good products. People have come to know us for this. And that's a really important aspect. We have 70,000 or more people out there that really feel this way about our business, which is not only a great feeling, but we know that when we go to launch a new product that we're going to be successful out of the gates with a much higher degree of certainty than if we didn't have that to lean on. I mean, it is a huge asset for us that is really hard to even quantify into words. So those are our three uniques. The next thing that Traction has you go through is the process. Like, what is our process for being successful. The first thing is to pick a niche that meets our business model. And I'm not going to go into this in a ton of detail because I just released an episode about this not too long ago about picking the perfect product. So go back and listen to that episode, and it talks about the obvious stuff like it's small and light and easy to ship and all the other things that people talk about out there for the most part. But it also talks about some other stuff like passion and Facebook audiences and stuff like that. It's, I think, a pretty good listen. It's actually turned out to be one of our more popular episodes. I might create other content like that because it seems to be responding well. But we pick a niche that meets our business model, and then we build a community by collecting email addresses, social followers, and launching content sites around this, like a tactical.com, where we're getting traffic and eyeballs organically and inherently, and not having to necessarily pay for that over and over again. It makes it a lot easier to launch products. So I kind of feel like that's our secret sauce to launching products, so much so that we actually are making a training course specifically on this that's either just about coming out when this episode comes out or soon, the launch process that we're doing for Amazon. And we only select products that meet our defined set of standards for opportunity and quality. This is very important. It's important because like a lot of times you get 90% of the way through something and you feel like you just got to do it because you've already put the time and effort into it. For us, we're looking for reasons not to do something more than to do it because we want to make sure that it meets all of our criteria, that we don't make the same mistakes we've made in the past over and over again. That just seems silly to me. You're going to get the same results if you keep doing that, in my opinion. We launch products with a bang using our preferred or perfected internal process. Again, this is something that we're going to be talking about in this new course coming out. Certainly not trying to plug the course here at all, just mentioning that as a side note. But the whole idea is that, especially when you're launching products on Amazon and not just your own site, the Amazon algorithm works off of a rolling moving average. And if you can come out of the gate the first couple weeks with consistent, strong sales, you're going to beat everybody else that's out there doing giveaways and coupons and review groups and almost other really shady crap. We stay away from that, do it the white hat way, and can not artificially prop up the Amazon algorithm, but actually in a white hat way, produce some really good results and statistics and indications there for them to help our product rank organically long term. We service our customers with the highest degree of satisfaction. I've already talked about that, but that is a part of our process. Customer service is something that is important to us. We want happy customers. And we evaluate our catalog for improvements, opportunities, or removal. This is another part of our process. It's important just because you have something in your catalog to not get married to it and just keep it there just because it's there. Our goal basically at this point is every year to remove 10 to 20% of our catalog and put effort into the things that are working better. Every product has an overhead cost to it. It's not just what does it cost to buy the thing? What does it cost to store the thing? But there's mental energy and capacity that goes into that. You should be every year applying new things that you've learned. Like we've learned how to optimize our listings better as a, for instance. Do we need to go back and do that for an underperforming product? Probably not. And if we don't do that, then the product underperforms even more. And it's just this vicious cycle of continuing to have those types of products up there that aren't going to perform as well as others. Now, the last part of this that Traction has you do is your guarantee. And we put this in writing. So our guarantee is if someone gives us money and they aren't happy for any reason, we will make it and, quote, make it right, unquote, or give them a full refund. So that's the part that we put down for our guarantee. And we want to make sure that everyone in our company and all of our customers know this. Like if they aren't happy and they've given us money, like I don't want someone's money that just the way that I feel about it, because I don't want someone taking my money and then ripping me off and making me feel that way. I would not want someone else to feel that way. That's our guarantee. So this is our marketing strategy part of this. That was the thing that you do after the 10-year goal, and then comes or your 10-year plan, and then comes the 3-year plan. So let me go over the 3-year plan. I'm going to take up the rest of this episode to talk about that, and then we'll get into other parts of this after that. So our 10-year plan is basically our 3-year plan is for the fiscal year 2020. Revenue, I've already talked about this in a previous episode. What we think we can be doing 3 years from now will be $21.1 million. We have a profit goal of $2.2 million. We want to be at 10% net profit in that year. It's a very important goal for us as well, not just to throw up a number As Dave always says, revenues are vanity, profits are sanity. So this is important to us. And then from here, it's not only goals of like, oh, we want to do 22.1 million, or we want to build a better mousetrap or whatever it might be. But this is more along the lines of, what do you think your company will look like? What will the landscape in your company look like? What do you have to build towards to be able to get to this goal? And what other aspects of things are important to you to be able to get to this goal, and for you as a company to be able to do to feel good about yourself and your company day in and day out as you come to work. So these are all of that. These next parts of this, the measurables, the landscape part. So the first one is that we probably will have 12 to 15 employees in our Escondido office, and probably somewhere between 30 to 50 employees in the Philippines office. We have typically this 2-to-1 to 3-to-1 ratio of employees in California to the Philippines, and that would keep that in check. We would want and need to move offices to something that's probably in the 2,500 to 3,000 square foot of dedicated office space. So that's just our Class A office space, part of our office and operation. And we probably would need an equal amount of space for warehouse, because that's about what we have now, and we don't really foresee being able to completely get rid of that. Even though we use third-party logistics companies, we feel like we need to have a warehouse to be able to handle the catch-all, like oopsies, gotcha type problems that come up, and having that lets us be more efficient in the entire other rest of our process. And the same thing goes for our office in the Philippines in Cebu. We're probably going to need to expand and have a Class A office space there as well. That's our office space and not in a co-working space, to make a better work environment for them. We'll probably acquire at least one other e-commerce business. I'm definitely on the path of, I'd rather acquire than start from scratch. We've done this with ice wraps. We've done this with survival food. And I think that buying existing businesses has a lot of inherent positives versus starting from scratch. Starting from scratch has positives as well, but I think buying a business that's in disarray that you can apply your secret sauce to and pull it out of the dumps, there's a lot to that. And we've done that now with ice wraps. We've turned what was a $50,000 investment in ice wraps into a 7-figure brand at this point. We could easily sell it for something in the 7 figures now on a low multiple. It's definitely been a great investment. I think we've done the same thing with survival food. The fact that someone offered me 10 times more what they were willing to pay for it originally was less than 10 times for us, but certainly close to that. It goes to show you that we were probably right in our analysis. I'm really excited about what we can do with survival food. So we would be looking for other companies that would be in our 4 silos of brands, which is, hot and cold therapy for ice wraps, adult coloring products, arts and crafts type products for Color It. Wild Baby is the organic, natural type baby and mom type products, and then Tactical is high quality, military type grade stuff we're going to be pushing towards, products for tactical.com and survival food, and being in one of those niches. And that's probably what we would acquire. We wouldn't acquire something that would be like completely out in left field that doesn't relate to one of those 4 brands, because brand building is tough. And we've talked about that before. I mean, it's expensive, it's long. We wouldn't want to create another whole brand or silo from scratch, but bringing something else in that makes a lot of sense that would fit in nicely, I think is a part of the long-term 3-year plan for us. The next thing here is to have at least 3 brands that are doing $5 million a year. So to me, this is important because, again, I don't want all my eggs in one basket. We want to make sure that of that 22 million, it isn't like 20 million of one brand and the rest of it's made up by these other brands. I think it's important that, to be able to handle cycles in your business, recessions or competitors or industry changes or just fads coming in and out or the environment changing, whatever it might be, trade wars, one of the crazy things that's happening right now, all these different things, being able to handle that. So we want at least 3 different $5 million brands. So our brands are basically more evenly distributed, and they're pretty evenly distributed already. But we have one $5 million brand with ice wraps, and Color It will certainly be a $5 million brand. here shortly, and that's $5 million in sales annually per brand. So those two will be softballs. Hopefully, nothing will go wrong with one of those two brands. And then it's just a matter of getting Wild Baby and or Tactical to be in that group as well. And if we can get lucky, we can have 4 brands that are all doing 5 million and really balance that out. That would be awesome. Another really important aspect to us is that our employees rate us a 9 out of 10, at least a 9 out of 10 on work environment and as a place to work. I think it's really important, at least to me, I want people to enjoy like coming to work, and I want to enjoy working with them. And I want a great relationship with our employees. Obviously, it's an employee relationship. It's not a friends relationship. So it's always like respecting that boundary. But at the same time, I spend a third of my life or more working, and all of our employees do. And I don't want people coming in here only because we are handing them a paycheck. The idea is that they really enjoy what they're doing and that they're coming in excited to be here and want to be here, and they would be here even if it weren't for the money, that they really enjoy where they're at. And I think that's important, and that's something that's actually a measurable, something that we're looking for as a part of our long-term plan. We want to be a leader in e-commerce, not, as I've said, not just a follower, and this would be for every brand that we have. So we want to continue to innovate and not just be complacent in the things that we're doing because you design something, you do something, and then someone copies you and rips you off. We've seen this time and time again, even back to the online poker days. We created this promotion for sign up for online poker and we'll give you a free gift. And then within months, someone else was copying us. And then within just a couple more months after that, there were dozens of people copying us. And it was like kind of a race to the bottom. I'll offer more than you. And it was tough. And the same thing went for the instant bankroll promotion we made and the rebate program that we came up with. All that stuff gets copied over time. So you have to be able to weather that storm and constantly come up with new stuff yourself. And even though it's frustrating that stuff happens, it's something that you just have to learn to deal with as an entrepreneur and be the person that's doing the innovating. Because if you're just always just following, it's tough to win in that situation. The next one is we're probably going to need to upgrade to what I would call enterprise level IT systems. We have decent IT systems right now, but I don't think they're going to carry us to a mid 8-figure company. I think that we're going to need something that would be considered enterprise level by that point to be able to handle our IT back end. 95% customer satisfaction rating. Again, customer satisfaction is another really important thing to me. I want to make sure that through all of this that we're making happy customers. Plain and simply, right now our customer satisfaction rating is a little bit closer to 90%. So our goal over the next few years is to continue to make that better a point or two a year at a time until we have a much higher customer service rating. Having an average product rating of 4.5 stars or better. Again, this kind of goes hand in hand, good customer service, but also great products and not letting our product quality drop. I mean, I really want 5-star products, but I know that isn't possible. Like people will leave a 4-star review that says like, I love this product more than anything else I've ever loved in my life. It's the best thing ever. I can't wait to buy more 4 stars. It's really tough to actually have a 5.0 star product. And on Amazon to have 5 full stars appear as the ranking, it has to be 4.8, 4.9, or 5.0 star ranking. Statistically, that is really, really, really tough to do. Most of our products are actually 4.7 stars, which is unbelievably frustrating considering that's a 4.5 star product on Amazon. And I prefer to have a 5-star product. So we want to try to push towards that 4.8 stars as much as we possibly can, averaging no less than 4.5 stars across our catalog for all of our products. We don't want 3-star products. We don't want to just sell crap that people, yes, it might sell well. There's tons of stuff out there that people buy that isn't that great, and we don't want to be that guy. Establish a performance-based bonus program to incentivize employees. This is something that we're actually already rolling out, but it is a part of our 3-year plan, but it just also became a part of our 1-year plan in 2018. And the thing that you'll find out as we go through the next part here, when you create your 1-year plan, the 1-year plan is a fall off of the 3-year plan. What are you going to tackle in this 1 year that is going to help you get to your 3-year plan? So some of this stuff is stuff that we're going to do in 2018, including establishing a performance-based bonus program to incentivize employees. The next one is to develop and launch 100 new products. We're doing 50 in 2018. So that basically means 25 more in each of the following years. But it's important for us to be able to develop new products to continue to develop our revenue stream, because you can only grow so much through marketing. The next one is forming an advisory board or a board of directors. I think it's incredibly important in business and in life to surround yourself by people that are way smarter than you and that have been through things. And I'm surrounded by a lot of really smart people, but most of them are in my sandbox. They're people that are doing, let's say, $2 to $10 million a year in e-commerce. I know very few people that are actually doing 8 figures. Those are few and far between, and we're going to hopefully be one of those people this coming year. And I always talk, I mean, this is not an ego thing or whatever. I think it's always important to stay in your lane and look at things relative to you. And we're just at a point in our journey where we're finally going to be at that 8-figure mark. And while I want to still hang out with and podcast to and mastermind with, et cetera, people that are under 10 million, I have to find a way to surround myself with people that are in the 8-figure range and maybe even 9-figure range that can help us understand the different challenges that exist in that world. Because I've never been there. I've only been in the low 8-figure world before, which was a great accomplishment. But there's another whole set of challenges that I don't even know that are coming my way. There's that saying of, you know what you don't know, but you don't know what you don't know. And I don't know, like, the challenges we are going to face as a company being a $50 million company, for instance, or a $100 million company 10 years from now. I have no clue like what that's going to look like. I can kind of extrapolate and come up with some ideas, but so this board of directors and advisory board, I think, will be 3 to 5 different individuals that potentially get a quarterly board fee for appearing for that, and maybe even like a half a point or a point of equity. And then they have connections and wherewithal and knowledge that, you know, just even talking to them a couple of hours a quarter can like really change the direction of your business greatly. And they can give you really good advice because they've been there before. I feel like I can help people that are just getting started in e-commerce or that are at the $1 million or $5 million mark, really help people at that level. And I obviously, people that have come to know me like know that how much I enjoy doing that, how much I can enjoy helping them. But I can't help a $100 million company. Like I have no idea like what that looks like. It's a totally different world. And that's kind of the path that we're on. So I hope that this advisory board will help us get to that next level and struggle less to do that, because it's, again, every stage of the business has another challenge. The last one here is to have paid healthcare as a benefit for all of our employees. This is something I want to be able to offer everybody. I think that everyone should have healthcare. Not to get super political, I personally think that, at least in the United States, a really wealthy Western country should be providing this to all of its citizens. There's plenty of money to do it, but we just don't have the political capital and will to want to do it. So, you know, how do you change things in the world? You make it done yourself. So this is something that, you know, out of our profits, which we'll hopefully have as we continue to grow, we'll be able to do this for all of our employees, so they don't have to worry about if they have appendicitis having a bill that they can't afford to pay, or if they break their arm, they can't pay it. I don't want our employees to have to worry about that. I also want them to be able to go and get checkups, or if they get strep throat, or just the things that happen from time to time. One of our employees the other day was telling me like she actually slipped and fell in the shower and like had to get some stitches, and it was like a $1,200 bill. And like, you know, she can't afford that. It's ridiculous. Some of the stuff that happens these days. So this is something that we can't do yet, which frustrates me. We tried, but we're not at a stage. We don't have enough people quite yet to do it. But this is something in 3 years that we want to be able to do. So that's like our 3-year plan, all these different things. So the next stage is to go over the 1-year plan and a couple other things that are in between here, issues and some other stuff. So the next episode, we'll dig into that. And again, I hope you guys have found this stuff valuable. This is the process that we went through with Traction. Listen to this stuff back again. Have your team listen to it. Get them the book. Go through this yourself. You can probably already see what a difference this can make in your business. Like, I'm at such peace with myself and our company in a way that I haven't been ever, because like I feel like I know exactly what it is that we're doing unquestionably now, not just for the next 3 months, because like I've done a good job planning again for 3 months or even a year, but even further out. And I know our team knows that, and that we're all comfortable in our own skin and where we're going to go over the next few years. And we're not looking at other people to help set this, or other, trying to follow other people to do that. This is where we're at in our skin, and we're happy with this. We'll continue to work towards this goal. So that's the end of this episode, guys. So let's hop into the closing, and we'll talk to you soon. And that is a wrap, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed the third part of our series on traction. We'll be back with part 4 not too long from now. Going to start digging into our 1-year plan and our quarterly rocks after this. Definitely excited to get into that. But in the meantime, if you have any questions or thoughts on this episode, you can go to ecomcrew.com/143 to get to the show notes and comments. We would love to hear from you. Again, ecomcrew.com/143. Until the next episode, everybody, happy selling, and we'll talk to you then.
Thanks for listening to the EcomCrew podcast. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/EcomCrew for weekly live recordings of the EcomCrew podcast every Monday. And please do us a favor and leave an honest review on iTunes. It would really help us out. Again, thanks for listening. And until next week, happy selling.